Hey guys, and welcome to Should You Buy It, where all we do is talk a little bit about the game and tell you whether or not we think it's worth the cost.
Your goal is to help rebuild the smoldering city and secure the future of the Queen's subjects.
In this episode, we'll be playing Against the Storm, the strategy roguelike colony sim game where you will be tasked with building multiple cities on your journey to survive the elements.
The first question that we always cover in these videos is what stage of development is the game in? And in this case, Against the Storm is currently in early access and available on PC for $20. Now, if you guys want to save money on games, you should check out Humble Bundle in the description below. Humble Bundle will not only help to give you a discount on games sometimes, but will also help charity and support this channel. Everything you purchase on Humble Bundle will go towards helping a charity, helping our channel, and giving you some kind of a discount if there's a discount running on that game, which they have tons of discounts that Steam does not all the time. And again, if you want to save money, just check out Humble Bundle down below by clicking the link.
With that being said, what exactly is the game? Well, Against the Storm is a colony sim game based in a fantasy universe where you will forever be fighting against a storm that is ravaging the lands.
The more you actually play Against the Storm, the more rewards and perks you will earn towards making your new city easier to build. The game essentially sees you picking a start location for each one of your settlements on a world map. After a number of settlements have then been built, or at least attempted to be built, the game will wipe the map with a giant storm. This storm then re-adds the Fog of War to the map and regenerates a new map for you to play on.
Each time you complete a settlement, or in other words win a run, you will receive some bread and occasionally some other currencies that can be spent at your citadel to upgrade it. As you upgrade your citadel, you will earn a huge variety of bonuses to make your runs easier. This could be anything from the Queen's patience getting a reduction to workers simply moving faster. However, it can also include new buildings in your city's starting list of buildings, and it can include rerolls for some of the more RNG mechanics.
You see, once you choose where to start your settlement, you'll then be allowed to bring a specific amount of resources with you based on the research you have previously unlocked earlier in the game. You can also select a starting group of colonists along with the difficulty for the colony you're about to try and build. The higher the difficulty, the bigger the reward for winning. Once you finally get into each game though, you'll find yourself with a ton of things to think about.
In Against the Storm, you will have to decide constantly on how you should be balancing choices. For an example, you may be on a map that doesn't offer any naturally occurring copper. Well, if you want to make things that would normally require copper, then you're going to have to build copper alternatives. This goes for almost every resource in the game, as no map will have everything available to you naturally. The game revolves around you juggling multiple mechanics, all while trying to meet the goal of max reputation and avoiding reaching the maximum amount of the Queen's impatience.
Luckily, you can gain reputation, or in other words, the win condition, by simply completing dangerous tasks, completing deeds, and keeping your citizens happy. This won't be as easy as it sounds, however, as some of the dangerous tasks will require a large amount of difficult resources to get, and deeds can require anything from reaching a certain population to delivering a package of high-end resources. Keeping your citizens happy, however, is a bit more challenging than most colony sims, as they each want specific foods and comforts based on which race they are. In total, there are 4 different races that will inhabit most of your cities. These include the humans, the harpies, the beavers, and the lizardmen. They also will start to gain a resistance to being happy, as the longer they are happy, the higher the required amount of happiness will go. This is due to them becoming more used to the conditions they're living in, and therefore require even better amenities in order to keep them happy. Now, once again, this is a roguelike, so you should expect yourself to slowly turn up the difficulty as you unlock more bonuses throughout the game in exchange for more rewards.
So now let's move into the pros and cons section for the video. First up for the pros is the fact that you constantly have to juggle a number of different mechanics, all while trying to reach your goals. This keeps the game interesting and rapidly changing, as the more you play, the more mechanics are introduced to you. The more mechanics that are introduced to you, the more balls you'll have to juggle. Next up for the pros is that the game feels extremely well polished for an early access title. I mean, there's really not a lot to say here other than the fact that we never encountered a single bug during our time with the game. Everything worked as intended, and the game even had a fairly decent tutorial put into it. Following that is the amount of replayability. Many colony sims just have you create a large city, then see how high you can push your population. This game, on the other hand, is built for extreme replayability. Instead of playing just one map and creating one large city for 10 hours, Against the Storm sees you creating 10 cities in 10 hours and then earning a permanent upgrade, while also offering increased difficulty options for higher rewards each time you play. And finally, for the pros, is the fact that this game still has plenty of content yet to come. They are planning on including a 5th playable race, new biomes, new buildings, new perks, and much more. I mean, they are even planning to have Twitch integration just in case you're into that kind of thing.
Now for the cons. And to be completely honest with you, I don't have any. This game was pretty solid, and most of the pros we talked about, there weren't really any cons to go along with. If you guys have a con for the game, you're welcome to comment it down below, but personally, we could not find anything that seemed to be noticeably wrong or inconvenient enough to actually warrant giving it a con on this list.
So now it's time for the rating for the game, and when we rate games, we want to get 1 hour of enjoyment out of every $1 that the game costs. So for this game in particular, in Against the Storm, we would want to get roughly 20 hours of enjoyment out of the $20 cost of the game. And after putting several played hours into this game, we give it 10 out of 10 potatoes.
Against the Storm was such a refreshing experience. It takes the idea of unfinished early access titles and the repetitiveness you always see in colony sims and then just throws it out the window. This game says to its players, we care about providing a good quality game on release, even if that's an early access and not an unfinished and buggy one just to get their money. This is the first early access game that we have ever given a 10 out of 10 on this channel, and therefore we feel that Against the Storm is absolutely worth the cost.
Now before you guys go, thank you so much for watching, and if you did enjoy the video, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more survival game content and reviews. We just want to quickly shout out our Platinum and above members Jonathan S, Caustic FPV, and Jim Phillips, and if you too would like to help support the channel for less than $1, which is less than the price of a cheeseburger these days, you can hit the join button down below to check out our membership program. Otherwise, thank you so much again for watching, and we'll see you next time.